So again, I have my big barrel so that I don't have to go in the backyard and turn any water on. We still have freezing temperatures at night, and so having a hose out there that runs into the greenhouse does me absolutely no good. And the big barrel of water keeps temperatures in here a little bit higher. I like to use the rosette because it doesn't wash my soil away. But everything's getting big enough, I'm having a hard time watering without having it all end up on the leaves. So maybe at this point, like a drip system, an automated drip system would work well. If, again, I didn't have those freezing temperatures at night that freeze the water in the hose so that I can't use it. Because even if it's not hard enough for us to hurt any of the plants, it will still make crunchy water inside the hoses. Even, I mean, yeah, even a really light frost will make my hoses crunchy. And I might have that wrong, but I mean, I've had that happen before where I'll come out and there's really not that much frost, and I can't use the hoses until the weather warms up. I really like to let these suckers, these little buggers out today. But I am kind of thinking that what I'd rather do is move them out into the other greenhouse, the chicken greenhouse. Anytime I see little brown tips, I need to be watering more. And I have yet to burn anything with my rabbit manure, but I added a little bit of Miracle Grow just to see what would happen. And I felt like it burnt my plants. And wow, these guys are growing so stinking fast. I swear these greens double in size overnight. The nice thing is that with these straw bales underneath, you don't lose any water. The water just soaks down into the straw bale. So it makes your life easier, and you're not losing water to surrounding soil that will only grow weeds. And I find this very therapeutic to come and do this early in the morning. And I find that the further on in the season, the less water I have to use on the individual plants, because anything that's in the ground, like the perennials, anything that's in the ground, that mulch that I have there holds the moisture in, and once they can get their roots down into real soil, the moisture just stays there. It's not as easily evaporated as it is up on the growing beds. But I'm going to add another bed in here. Another 2 beds actually, because the tomatoes I just put in. And because I'm putting another bed in here, the amount of water that I use will actually stay the same, even though the individual plants aren't requiring as much of it, especially as this dense growth comes on. The denser the plant cover, again, the less water evaporates. So it all just stays close enough to be happy. And I'm really, really, really happy with the tot soy from Michigan Garden. It's been a rock star. so for that matter, the borage was pretty good too. Everything that I've had from Michigan Gardener has instantly, what's the word? Has instantly germinated. And I wonder if the reason that it shocks me so much is because with all my other plants, I've bought big packages of them and then I haven't used them until they've gone a little bit older. So I'm going to open this one. Let's see how that works. I can't find my tripod. It's amazing to me how you can have hundreds of seeds that go to seed in your greenhouse, or anywhere else for that matter, and yet when it comes down to the, like, having them germinate, at least for me, it's never very good. Like, I had hundreds of dill seeds that shattered in my perennial space, and yet I only have one of them that's come up. How weird is that? I love the comfrey because it's so resilient. I can use it as a starter plant. I can use it as the first pioneer plant because its roots go down and bring up nutrition, and I know that the bed is alive and it'll hold weeds down. And then once the other plants start to come up and be happy, I can pull the leaves out and use it as an actual mulch, and it doesn't mind. It doesn't mind the fact that I just tore half of its vegetation off, and it'll just come back. One thing is, I want it to flower to attract some bees in here, and if I start tearing too much of it down, then the flowers don't come on. And as long as eventually you start to give it a little bit of water, even spots that supposedly were dead, those dormant roots will come back. And so it's always just kind of a mystery, grab bag, surprise, excitement thing. When herbs start to come up and I suddenly recognize them for something that I had planted, that I had not known whether or not it would survive. To be like, I don't know what that thing is. It kind of looks like alfalfa. It kind of looks like a Siberian pea shrub. It kind of looks like a black locust. No, wait, that's astragalus. That is what I have been trying to grow for 5 years now. And honestly, this perennial space, I am as excited, if not more excited, with the success of keeping some of these more tender perennials alive than I am with having my annual garden taking off. I mean, I'm really, really excited about all the food over there. But what this means is that I have increased a zone or two in my greenhouse through the winter. And a lot of things that normally, doesn't matter how well I would protect them, the cold weather would just kill them. It turns out that with the greenhouse, they were able to overwinter, and they survived the voles, which is likewise enormous. Huge news. And I'm watching really, really closely for bindweed, because if I can keep it pulled back and keep it out of the beds here at the beginning, then it won't take over the greenhouse like it did. I'm also doing the same thing with grass. I'm just, anything that I see, I go ahead and I pull it out. And eventually, it's going to run out of nutrition in the root zone, and it'll just die. Which is exciting. And if I start to see it come up in the pathways, it means I need to put some more mulch on.